others join and we need to update them, then we would update them. But Mike, just to reconfirm, are we okay on the YouTube side?
Yes, I'm online as well, so it works.
Oh, great. Okay. So hello everyone again.
As well, so it works.
Happy Chinese New Year. In Cantonese, it will be Kung Hei for Choi. And in Mandarin, it will be Gong Zi Fa Chai. They mean the same thing. It's pretty much congratulations and may you prosper. I think as we are all aware, this is the year of the dragon, and it is particularly relevant to us as a TitanX community, because after all, the dragon is our symbol. And so I'm looking forward to today's spaces and the discussions that we will have. I think, for one, this week represents a major week in the TitanX ecosystem. We have two major projects launching this week. We have Helos and TitanX Market. And so it'll be good to sort of catch up on their pre-launch prep or preparations. So that's one that I'm definitely looking forward to. And of course, we will be having sort of a Q&A with baby DragonX afterwards. But I think let me just make a couple of comments. As we're all aware, we're currently in phase 2 of the implementation of the TitanX roadmap. Sort of the first phase was the launch of TitanX, and that was a pretty successful launch. I think we're all aware that the first phase of TitanX is meant to be hyper inflationary, and I think that's something that that's not news to us as a community. I think we have definitely seen over the last 3 months the progression. TitanX into as many hands as possible really has been the driving force in the first phase. As part of that first phase, we've got the build on TitanX, protocols, and we're pretty much in that phase. The second phase will see a deflation or a deflationary and then hyperinflationary phase. That's the second part of the roadmap. And by then, we would have hoped that the protocols building on TitanX would have launched. At least the first generation of TitanX, built on TitanX protocols, would have launched and gained traction. So it's important that we just simply remind ourselves where we are looking back and then, of course, looking forward. Now, just moving on, housekeeping. I'd like to go through the stats, the TitanX stats, and then hand over to Mike for his update on developments with the Dunes Analytics, and of course, our various projects. And in this regard, actually, I mean the TitanX Hub, and of course the DragonX Dunes Analytics that Mike has now released. I've mentioned that, and after Mike, then we will go straight into the pre-launch prep talks by Helos and TitanX Market, and get a feel of that. But I'll suggest we have 20 minutes for each project to give us their prep talk, and then of course we can have questions after that. I'll suggest 10 minutes there. I will be the timekeeper, and then of course we can progress on to the Q&A with daily DragonX. So I will move on right away and go through the stats. I'm not going to go through the stats in any great detail because, of course, we've got a packed agenda for today. So just looking, I'm actually at just on the stats page of TitanX, TitanX's website. And so we start off with liquid, 25.74% in liquid TitanX. That's what's available. Circulating supply, in other words. This is, of course, has been growing over the last few weeks. Again, we go back to our hyperinflationary phase narrative. And so this is not such a surprise. Now, staked is 25.18%, and I think we would have noticed that for the first time in a long time, the circulating supply of TitanX in liquid has exceeded the staked percentage. Of course, that's if you exclude the build on TitanX protocols. But just as it is, just looking at it on the face of it, just the numbers, that's the way it looks. Now, of course, if we look at the build on TitanX protocol, the percentage there is 15.95%. And so, of course, if you add that to the staked amount, it's still in excess of what we have with respect to liquid. Just moving on to the buy and burn, we've got 32.84% buy and burn. That is really good, very healthy. And if you do not mind, I would also want to just, okay, I took a look at the buy and burn pools, V1, V2, just before we started. I think total we have about 25.5 million. That's still looking very healthy. In terms of the TitanX distribution in hard numbers, liquid is 13.7 trillion tokens out there on the market. And of course, I'm rounding it up when I say 13.7 trillion. With staked, we've got 13.4 trillion, and that's represents about 14.5 million USD. Now, with liquid, what we have in the market in terms of USD terms is 14.8 million. Still, very much less than what we have in our buy and burn. I think the ETH that we have in our buy and burn. So it's still a very, very much a liquid, protocol, highly liquid protocol actually. And I think things are progressing in the way that we expected. There should be no surprises here when we look at the Mike Dean's dunes. It clearly gives us a good view of what the future looks like, and tokens that are going to be hitting the market. And you can actually see that actually by March, going into March, April, all the way on to I think August, you do have a really significant drop in terms of the volume of TitanX hitting the market. But anyway, to build on TitanX protocols, 8.5 trillion TitanX tokens. In USD terms, that's over 9 trillion. Sorry, in USD terms, that's over 9 million. Sorry about that. So, but long and short of it, we all know that DragonX and Titan Legends are really the two protocols that have launched. And so, but TitanX pretty much represents a huge chunk of what we're referring to here. And we expect to see this number grow. And of course, if it grows, that would signify good health. That is pretty much what we're expecting with the protocols that we're looking at launching soon. Buy and burn, we've got 17.4 trillion TitanX that are being bought and burned, and that represents 18.9 million USD. So very much a good, I will say, picture, and no surprises here. Let me just round up by looking at TitanX.watch. And I think with this, we can actually look at minor growth, user growth, really heading in the right direction. And as I always like to do, I would really want also to just make reference to, bear with me, just make reference to the inflation. Now, the daily inflation for today is 536.4 billion TitanX. That is where we are. We know that we've experienced some deflationary days, but mostly inflationary. And that is where we are as of today, the last 24 hours in terms of inflation. I think on that note, I'd like to hand over to Mike. Mike, over to you.
Hey, how everybody? Thank you, Plan A. So today, what do I have in stock here? So I have three things. First, it's going to be the upcoming projects. And then the second part, I'm going to talk a bit about the TitanX Hub, somewhat of like some listing rules, which I came up with. And lastly, I'm going to talk about the new dashboard for which I created for DragonX. So probably let's just start up with the upcoming projects. I mean, I'm seeing already Helios is actually live with us today, so that's pretty cool. I would also probably just invite him to come up as well. I think that was definitely, yeah, he should come up at least because, yeah, his Helios is going to be going live very soon. So let's start with Helios. I mean, in the upcoming days, we've got Helios and KingX, which is going to be launching. And for you guys on Twitter, not on Twitter, sorry, on YouTube, you're actually going to see I'm sharing my the website titanxhub.com, and there you can see this is something which I updated somewhat some point this week, I think it was, and a lot of people were confused with the dates in UTC time. I'm pretty used to those kind of timing, but I guess from the comments I got on Twitter, I'm seeing it's somewhat not. Yeah, a lot of people are confused by that. So what I decided was that I created a countdown timer, and this is pretty much universal because the reference is pretty much the same all over the world. The time zones are different, but reference time are all the same. So anyhow, as you can see, Helios gonna be launching in 2 days, 20 hours, 41 minutes, and 56 seconds at this exact moment. And obviously, it's counting down to that. And when you hover the countdown timer of any of the projects which are going to be launching, you're going to see the real date and your local time as well. So that's something which I just wanted to say. So Helios is coming up. One thing also um, I have also shared the tweets, both of the tweets with the dude from Helios, the creator. On top of Twitter Spaces, you're going to see a tweet which I've made, and that was pretty much the YouTube interview with the dude from Helios and Marek from KingX slash TitanX Market. So that's just an update on that. And yeah, so that's one thing regarding Helios. Maybe the dude can come up as well later on. Maybe can just give us a quick refresher again. I think that would be pretty great because we got 2 days, and probably there's going to be new people who are joining today. And yeah, they might want a little bit of a refresher. And why not get a refresher straight from the creator himself? I think that's the best. Yeah, and then let's jump on KingX. That is the TitanX Market native token. I did an interview yesterday, a second interview by the Marek, the King Marek. If you've seen the interview, it's pinned at the top of the space as well. Yeah, so that's definitely very interesting. We talked more yesterday about the KingX token. So I think it's if you want to participate, that interview is definitely something you can look into. But nevertheless, we got 3 days, 21 hours, 40 minutes, and 1 second. And similar to Helios as well, if you hover over it, you're going to see the launch date at your local time. So that's pretty much it from the upcoming projects. I got Helios and KingX, which are coming up, and then there's Pyro Protocol, but that's like in 16 days. So that's a way. We still got some time with that as well. And I've been talking with the Pyro Protocol team, and we're gonna have at some point an interview with them. And there's gonna be also some other projects which I'm currently talking to. I think Titan Blaze is one of those, and hopefully in the upcoming week we're going to have an interview as well with them. So before the interview, then at least I'm forced to check all the projects because I'm going to do the interview, and that's how I try to keep up quite a lot. So yeah, so that's that regarding the upcoming projects. The second point I wanted to talk about was more regarding the TitanX Hub listing rules. This is something which is, yeah, not as easy because the framework, I still haven't got a really nice framework actually to list any other thing. So for now, the listings are literally, if you're following the TitanX ethos, so how we got listed, um, I mean, that's regarding, okay, fair launch, LP is forever locked or burned, you are doxed or known somewhat in the community as well. At least that is something whereby there is likely, like, there is a lot of things, even with those things, you can do harm to people. But well, I mean, okay, harm probably is a different, it's not the right word for it. But what I'm just trying to say is crypto is hard already. But with anything, like if you compound stealth launches or anything else which is not a fair launch, you're just making it much, much harder. We're already in crypto, it's like hard enough. But now you're trying, yeah. So hopefully you guys get my point. So I don't have the time nor the resources to look to every project, everything. So for me right now, it's just like, okay, you're following pretty much how TitanX got launched. It's a fair launch, and I'm seeing also people are misusing this fair launch word as well. So I mean, that's also something which is yeah, I mean, I don't have the time to play games in the DMs, you trying to convince me that you're a fair launch, that I have to list you. Uh, I mean, that's also something which I just don't have the time and I don't have the resources. I mean, this is all, I'm doing all this in my free time. Nobody pays me for this, right? So, uh, well, that's that. I'm just saying is like, hey, I just don't have the time. If you do fair launch, the rules are known beforehand. You're either virtual mining or minting. The minting phase is known. There is fair rules for everybody. Well, even it's just much, much easier. I can even talk with you like in a fair manner. In absence of fair launch or anything, stealth launch or anything, the games, it's so easy to play different games, the dev can fuck you over, or maybe even with the stealth launch, you're like, okay, I'm gonna limit how many addresses, let's say, by at the beginning. But I mean, I'm a technical person. How do you know that I'm not running a bot with 100 addresses and buys anything which gets listed with a TitanX pair? I mean, I'm not, but what I'm trying to tell you is like a mediocre dev with some Web3 um, uh, capabilities or Web3 experience, it's very easy to game these kinds of systems. Like it's very, very easy. So that's why it's like if we just keep it to fair launch, rules are known beforehand, and everything else, we just make it easier, even for me, because I don't have the resources to look into any project. Like, well, that's that. So yeah, so that's one of the points. And the last point, let's look at the new Dune dashboard, which is the DragonX Dune dashboard. So this took a bit more time because, well, I had other things, priorities to look into. And yeah, but for now, this is pretty much it. If you go to dune.com/MikeDean/DragonX, you're going to see the DragonX community dashboard. And probably let me just highlight some few things here on this new Dune dashboard. So we got this is something I've just updated actually today. So we have the DragonX net supply, which is currently 5.73 trillion. So this is how much has been minted, pretty much. I mean, this is the net supply, means there is a bit of it already which got burned, right? So the minted supply is much higher, but there was already some burning. So that's why you have the net supply here. And then so far, the DragonX has collected 753 Ethereum in total. So that's pretty great. And then we have around 5.63 trillion TitanX locked. If you go to the DragonX.win side, you're going to see that the TitanX locked is a bit higher. But this value of the genesis of TitanX had sent some TitanX to the DragonX smart contract. And that value is not included here yet because I still have to work on the query. So that's not done yet. But nevertheless, this is the query which I have right now, which is 5.63 trillion. And then I have the minting phase. This is all the information regarding the minting phase. So you're going to see week 1 up to week 12. And then you're going to see the week ranges as well. So week 1, when it starts and when it ends, and then the ratio as well. And as you can see, every week the ratio goes down pretty much. I mean, apart from the first 2 weeks where the ratio was 1-to-1. And then I'm going to scroll down a little bit more. And then we are going to see at the rolling payout cycles, which were claimed basically. And this is also interesting here, which you can see if you hover over the payout cycles, you can pretty much see when the collection, when the payout cycles happen, and how much of how much ETH basically the DragonX smart contract received. Up to now, the highest one was day 90 with 560 Ethereum. And then on the right side, you see pretty much like a bit of like a summary what happened, which is now there is around 753 Ethereum total ETH claimed. That's something which I had mentioned earlier on. But yeah, so and then you see how much 60 Ethereum the Genesis have received so far. And one thing which is actually pretty high, I think, was the total incentive fee, which is with 23 Ethereum. There is more to this actually, which is I'm gonna do like probably a live stream and then explain this a little bit more. But I don't wanna, yeah. I mean, you have to see it on YouTube basically for me to explain it a bit better, because yeah, just here on Spaces, I think I'm just gonna waste you guys' time because I'm gonna use too many words, and it's much easier if you just see it on a video. And then we can see here, lastly, I have another section which is called the DragonX Minting Insights, and yeah, then you basically see now how much DragonX were minted on a daily basis. So we can see day 14 was pretty much the highest with around 2 trillion, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so around 2 trillion or so, and that was the highest. And you can see why that was the case, because day 16, was it day? Yeah, so day 14. So basically the last day before the ratio changed, a lot of people minted their tokens so that they can get it in the best rate and so forth. So that's pretty much it for me on my side. I think you heard about the upcoming projects, the TitanX Hub listing rules, and the new dashboard of DragonX. So that's pretty much it from my end. Give it back to you.
Yes, thanks, Mike. I'd just like to second what Mike has said with respect to the TitanX hub. I think these rules or guidelines are really meant to protect the community, really meant to protect us. And it is important that we reinforce these rules, particularly before we get into the bull run proper, where animal spirits just take over, and people could easily lose sight as to what could really protect them in these in a bull market. And so it is important for us to say, okay, we really know what the guidelines are as to fair crypto. It is really meant to self-regulate the space and to protect the community. And long run, this would really put TitanX in good stead, just even on the macro level, on a bigger picture level, will put TitanX in a good stead with regulatory developments that are coming along. There are regulatory developments on the horizon. I'm not going to go into them here, but be rest assured they are. And TitanX is looking really good when it comes to these proposed regulatory regimes across different jurisdictions. I think we do our very best to protect our community, protect TitanX, by just keeping to the ethos of fair crypto. So when it comes to fair launch, I think making sure that the information is out there available to all, making sure that it's actually better to, the information asymmetry, as we've discussed previously, is something we want to get away from. We want to make sure that as much as possible, we want to make sure that information symmetry is really the rule. So it's better to announce your launch ahead of time so that people are aware. It's better to have your projects audited, and actually, particularly, I'm sure that we all probably have heard about this project that recently robbed or pretty much stole the funds of its community. I think it's called Beetroot, and I think we can name it definitely. And they suddenly simply robbed. I don't believe they had an audit. Whatever excuses they made, but they robbed, and they hurt their community in a big way. Now, had they taken the time, or had the community taken the time to make sure that there was an audit in place, that as Mike has mentioned, that there was a lock on the liquidity, or they had burned out admin keys for with respect to liquidity and so on, I think the community would have been better protected. I think why I'm going on this is impromptu, to be frank. It's just that to reinforce the message that this is for the benefit of all of us and for the community. So there are certain boxes that need to be ticked in order for us that need to regard our projects as, fair crypto. And the disclaimer that one has to give with respect to TitanX Hub is that even after all of this due diligence that is being done, that as individuals and members of the community, we shouldn't just rely on that. We should do our own research, and we should make our own decisions independent of the work that we've seen being put in with respect to TitanX Hub and these verifications or discussions that we have here. Long and short of it, we need to do our own research. We need to make sure that, that the communities that we support or the projects that we support have ticked certain boxes. But more than ticking certain boxes, have actually, done what they say that they will do. That is important to us. Okay, so great. On that note, Helos, I think we would like to hear your pre-launch talk, and then, we'll ask a few questions. And of course, we're looking forward to the 14th of you know, of February. It's Valentine's Day as well as the cherry on top being Helios, the Helios launch. So over to you.
Hey, thanks. Just I guess before I get into that, I just want to say thanks for hosting. I enjoy these spaces every week. And Mike Dean, I think you should start charging a listing fee on TitanX Hub with all these projects showing up. We're launching on February 14th. That's 14 UTC. Our white paper is already out, so you can check it out and read all about it and understand all of the intricacies of Helios. I guess just a quick rundown about what we are. We're a mining and staking protocol similar to TitanX, where all of the Helios in existence comes in from virtual mining, and that's done through our website via the smart contracts. So you spend TitanX to virtually mine Helios, and we have our staking platform as well, where you can stake your Helios and earn TitanX and ETH in return. Again, similar to TitanX, where there are reward pools that fill up from the mining in our treasury that feeds our stakers. As far as like a fair launch goes, we are striving to be the fairest of fair launches possible. We're announcing our launch date ahead of time. We are trying to get awareness out to as many people as possible ahead of time. All of the documentation is there. I've created a walkthrough of the white paper as well. That's on YouTube and on the documentation website. And let's see, fair launch. There's no team tokens. There's no angel investors. Launching, like, for me to get in on this project, it'll be the same as anybody else. It'll be there's no early release or early coins giving out to anybody, anything like that. And we are doing 2 audits. One audit's already been completed, and we are running towards the end of the second audit. I'm waiting on that final report. Everything's looking good. I'm excited for this launch, and I'm excited to be a day one miner, just like the rest of the TitanX community. What else? There any other? What else do I need to talk about?
Well, I will say. So first the question would be, how certain are you that you will have the second audit ready before the 14th?
Before I released the launch dates, I asked him specifically, "Hey, I would like to launch on the 14th. Is this reasonable for you?" And he said, "Absolutely." He's found no issues, and he will have the full report well before then. So, like, I feel fully confident that if there is anything, it'll be small, minor adjustments that won't take but a few minutes to fix and resubmit. And like I said, the auditor knows our launch date and is aware of it, and we'll work within those timelines. So I'm confident about it. And then as far as the website goes, or the app portion of the website, we are in testing of that right now to make sure everything runs smoothly. But before launch, we intend on doing some kind of walkthrough on that as well, so that everybody understands completely all of the functionality of the website and how to use it. And we've designed the mining and staking side of things very similar to the TitanX website. So anybody familiar with TitanX, it'll be super easy to, and you'll immediately understand what you're doing, and very intuitive. So yeah, on those two things, yeah, it's definitely close, but I'm totally confident that we will have a smooth launch, and I'm looking forward to this double payout on what is it, Friday.
Has Twitter Spaces rugged again, or can you guys hear me?
Nah, you're there.
All right, okay, because I couldn't hear Plan A, and I thought Twitter Spaces rugged again.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah,
can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, sorry about that. Yes, well, I'll just say that could anyone who wants to ask any questions, please come up, and feel free to ask a question. Any question that you have to do, please feel free to come up and ask. By the way, Mike, I probably had my mic on mute. That's probably why you didn't hear me, but yeah, we can definitely hear you clearly. And yes, okay, one more question, dude, whilst we wait for others. I know you've mentioned, in terms of the burn of TitanX tokens that come into the project. Now, Mike, by the way, can you bring someone up? I think someone actually wants to come up, because I can't actually, from my end, it's just playing up.
I just accepted, so
maybe
we'll see if it works.
you just accepted. Okay, so dude, can you kind of explain again your tokenomics, long and short of it? Just very very briefly for everyone to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, 1 second. Anybody who wants to join, if you don't see that you can come up, just close the Twitter app on your. First, try to do it on your phone. That works the best. And second, if you're seeing that we accepted but you're still not up, just close the Twitter app and reopen it again. And mostly it works.
Awesome. Elon needs to fix this. Yeah, so the tokenomics on Helios is, like I said, all of the circulating supply comes in from mining the token virtually. And when you mine, you're depositing your TitanX. And with that TitanX, portion of that goes into our treasury, where we max stake all of the TitanX and earn Ethereum rewards off of that. And now the treasury will never sell any of the TitanX. So as every new miner gets started, the treasury will grow larger and larger over time. And the ETH rewards from that will feed the buy and burn pool and our reward pool. And then also it will drip some ETH into our investment pool, which will be used to diversify our assets. And by that I mean, the V1 treasury is full of TitanX, and it's staking TitanX and earning ETH. But to stabilize the system, we are going to invest ETH into other protocols as well, whether that's in or outside the TitanX ecosystem. And all this is decided through our DAO, which, there will be committees formed, and we will have discussions on future strategies for future treasuries that we build. And then they will get voted on by HLX holders and miners and stakers. And then with that investment pool, when we diversify, like a simple example would be like turning ETH into staked ETH. And then with that staked ETH, we are now earning additional ETH. And at that point, the Helios ecosystem is getting funded by a treasury that's just perpetually always earning rewards. That staked ETH will never leave the treasury, and the yield from it will constantly be feeding our buy and burn. And the buy and burn will have a pool of ETH and TitanX in it. And it's the buy and burn's funded from 3 locations. The mining side feeds the buy and burn with some TitanX. And then the treasury and the investment pool will feed ETH into the buy and burn. And this is, again, similar to the TitanX buy and burn, where at a set rate and amount, it will take the ETH and buy TitanX with it. So just by that right there, we are helping out the entire TitanX ecosystem by putting ETH into the LP. And then with that TitanX that we get, we're now using that to buy HLX. So that's, pushing the price of HLX up. And then with the HLX that we receive, that gets burned. So in the process, we're increasing the price of TitanX, we're increasing the price of HLX, and then we are decreasing the circulating supply of HLX. And so that's the stability. The idea of the whole Helios ecosystem is the stability of our buy and burn. It's funded by 3 sources, so that we won't worry about it ever running out or going empty, because the treasury with the max stake TitanX will always be earning ETH, and our diversified portfolio and the investment pool will always be earning ETH as well. So regardless of mining on Helios, there will still be value coming in, and we'll bring fresh ETH in from outside the TitanX ecosystem to, like I said, push up all of TitanX and Helios. And that's the same with our reward pool. It's being fed by those same 3 things. So the reward pool is getting TitanX from the mining, and then it's receiving ETH from the treasury and the investment pools. So once this is going and our treasury is filling up, there will be a constant flow of Ethereum running into the reward pools for our stakers, regardless of usage. And so if it helps create miner confidence, knowing that you can mine HLX, knowing that that buy and burn pool is always going to be running, and regardless of the amount of mining, it's going to have funds in there to continuously buy and burn the HLX tokens, to continuously give an incentive for miners to keep mining, which is, what runs the entire ecosystem. Yeah,
Right.
Penny, you want to ask your question?
Yes, definitely. That does, it definitely answers the question. I think let's get Penny in. I think Penny has been waiting. So, Penny, over to you.
Hey, what's up, dude? First and foremost, I just want to say I appreciate what you're doing for the ecosystem, and how transparent you've been. And yeah, man, just the overall aspect of what your project is bringing to TitanX. So kudos to you. That's awesome, man. I've watched a bunch of streams about Helios, but just had a couple quick questions that probably would have been answered in the white paper, but I mean, we're here, so I just might as well ask you. So starting up Helios miners, is this am I solely using Liquid TitanX, or is there a combination of Ethereum to start the miners other than the protocol, or other than the gas fee?
Yeah, no, it's strictly TitanX only. And day one, miners will cost 420 million TitanX to start, and that's at 100% power level. And you can adjust that from anywhere from 1% to 100,000%, so that you can get your miner set exactly how you want it and submit that all in one transaction. So if you want to run 10 miners, you can just run 1,000%. And then, of course, the cost would be 10 times 420 million. But yeah, no, it's just TitanX, and the ETH that flows into our ecosystem comes from our TitanX treasury.
Got it. Okay, cool. And then with the staking, obviously, when I receive my HLX and I stake it, and am I receiving Ethereum plus TitanX as well? Did I somehow understand that correctly, or is it just Ethereum?
No, you've got it right. We are paying out TitanX and Ethereum, which to me, I think is one of the cooler aspects of the protocol, because now, like, you know, TitanX started as a leverage on Ethereum, and that's kind of what brought everybody to the system, is like, we're all here to make more ETH, and TitanX is a leverage play on ETH. And now we're doing the same thing with TitanX, where we are a leverage play on TitanX. So, you know, and that's the whole point of people coming to us, is to earn more TitanX. But if you're staking Helios, now you're earning ETH and TitanX. So to me, I think that's awesome, because now you're getting realized gains by getting ETH directly and claiming ETH directly without having to sell any TitanX to get there. So I think that one of the coolest strategies is you can take your TitanX and start new miners, or use that for any of the other protocols in the ecosystem, and you're still getting ETH from that without having to do anything, and not selling any TitanX or Helios.
Yeah, that's super dope. And it definitely can potentially make up for the TitanX staking pools that are diluted. So this is kind of like a layer 2 staking protocol. So that's awesome, man. Cool. Well, I'm definitely excited for the launch, and once again, thank you for what you're doing for the TitanX ecosystem. I'll drop down.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, I hate to say that, but the TitanX staking pool is getting diluted by protocols, and we're going to be one of those guys. But it just seems to me like that's going to be the future play in TitanX, is if you want to stake it, you take your TitanX and you go to these layer 2 protocols like Helios, and get your your yield from that. So it's not necessarily, I think it's still a very good thing, obviously, because we're driving demand for the TitanX token. So that's good for the whole ecosystem. It's sad that and I'm one of those people that's max staked for 3,500 days, and I'm not worried about it. Primarily, your TitanX is not gone. When your stake is up, you still get 100% of that TitanX back in your hand. So it's, you're forced, diamond hands for 10 years. There's no telling what that stake's going to be worth at the end of that. And then in the entire 10 years that you're diamond handing, you're getting maybe not that much, but some ETH back into your wallet. So I think it's cool. And as far as our staking pool goes, we shortened it. That was one of the main feedbacks that we got from many people in TitanX, is that they regret doing a max stake. And so to kind of incentivize people on our system, we've lowered the staking duration. The max staking duration is 830 days. So quite a bit shorter, way less of a commitment for people. And so you can still do a max stake and get your max bonuses and rewards without having to completely overcommit. And obviously you can stake for as little as 30 days as well. But yeah, I think yeah, that's really, I guess, my whole point. I guess I'm rambling now. But the staking pool on TitanX getting taken over by protocols, I think, is not necessarily a bad thing. It helps ensure that there is demand for TitanX, and really the main thing is we need demand for TitanX to keep TitanX miners running, because that's really more important.
Correct. All right. Any further questions? Just have you've exhausted your list of questions?
Hey, Plan A,
Anyway.
can I mention something?
Yes, of course, Rainman. I just wanted to mention, just bear with me. Mike, if you can see anyone else who probably put up their hand up, please, let us know. I think if there's anybody else that was there before Raymond, let me know, because all I see from my end is really Raymond as being the next speaker. I just wanted to mention that on the off chance that someone is sort of waiting ahead of Raymond. Anyway, Raymond, go ahead.
Cool. Guys, Mike Dean, Plan A, thanks as usual for your consistency in the space and in the ecosystem. And I'm Justin from Blaze. We're not up yet, we're not due yet, but I just wanted to come on here and say, best of luck to Helios. I hope you guys tear it up. And you've been on here and you've been open and you've answered everybody's questions great. And I'm going to be gone for a week or so. And I just want to take the time just for a moment. We have a meeting at 1 with our devs and all that, but good luck, man. And we know it's going to work out solid. So thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for the kind words. And I'm excited for y'all's launch as well. Every protocol that comes out is here to help, lock up TitanX and help every other protocol. So I don't feel like any of us are competing against each other. It's really the more the merrier type of situation. So yeah, I'm looking forward to y'all's launch as well.
Cool, man. And then it's not about mine today, it's about yours. So cheers, everybody. Sorry I got to bounce out early, and y'all have a wonderful day and week.
Thanks, Justin. Thank you.
Sure.
And that's the spirit. That's the spirit of TitanX. You see. And yes, Helos, I think we definitely are all kind of wishing you a great launch. So I think Justin really captured the sentiment there for everyone. Great. So I don't think there are any further questions for you, dude. I think we can move on to TitanX Markets and listen to their pre-launch talk as well. Great. Just to mention, Mike, can you hear me? Mike. Okay, I think we're getting a bit of a
Can you hear me?
delay.
I can hear you, Plan A.
Yes, but can Mike
Hello,
Dean,
hello.
Mike Dean still there?
Hello, everyone.
Okay, I think there is.
Yeah.
Mike, if you could hear, can anyone hear him, or is it just my? Just wanted to make sure it's not just from my end.
No, it looks like he just left to rejoin. I guess we'll give him a
he's
second.
left to read. Okay. Oh, great. Okay. I'm going to have to bring up TitanX Markets. So, great. Can you put your hand up for TitanX Market? Can you please indicate kind of where you are, because, or send me a request. I'll bring you up. Okay. If not, then we're going to have to move on to our next item, and that would be our Q&A with baby DragonX. But let's just bear with me. Oh, good. Okay, you got the request. Yes. Approve.
Okay, I'll suggest we just move on to our Q&A with Baby DragonX, and then of course if TitanX market arrives or is able to come up before, afterwards, then we can listen to his prep talk. So good. Okay, so we've got, is it, please correct me if I'm not pronouncing it correctly, but is it Ziba?
Yeah, hello everybody.
Good,
Ziba.
good.
Yeah,
Ziba,
also
so-
James. I mean, my real life name is James. So
James. Oh, great. So, how do you prefer that I refer to you? Is it James or Ziba?
we'll do. I think James is probably better. I think
James,
my
okay.
real life name. So thanks.
Great. Well, James, I think I'm looking forward to what you have to tell us about Baby DragonX. I think this is really one that I'm looking forward to, and I'm really interested in finding out the background to it and the value add to the TitanX ecosystem. So over to you. Give us a quick, high-level talk about it, and of course the questions will follow.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, first of all, thanks for having me on. And second, I'm a bit late. I think it was 1 a.m. when your show started, and I was fast asleep. It's been a long weekend. It's Chinese New Year here in Asia, so I'm based in Singapore.
Oh, great. Oh, well, that is great. I'm based in Hong Kong. So.
All right. So it's yeah.
So
yeah, I didn't know.
No,
I
I'm not too
didn't know that. That's really cool.
Oh yeah. So, but anyway, I'm gonna hand it over to you, and you're here now. So let's hear you.
Awesome. Yeah, I was just pulling up actually our white paper. So I'm just gonna kind of go through it. So Baby DragonX, this all started about 5-6 weeks ago, and our co-founder, he is named Michael. He's out of Australia. He came to me with an idea, right? And a lot of people do come to me with ideas. Sometimes I end up advising them in their project. And he came to me with an idea about a luck dragon. So some of you have probably heard about Falcor, the luck dragon, that cute white dragon with like a dog face. And he had this idea for a luck dragon meme coin. It would probably have been the first one, right? And it was all going to be about sevens, 77 billion of the tokens, maybe 4 or 5 zeros and a 1, very low market cap, 7,777, and just a couple of things like that. And then, how would we do it? Would it be a fair launch? How would that be structured? And I remember that Eric of DragonX was on a stream with Jake, one of his many streams, and he said, I would love for somebody to be the first to build on DragonX, right? There's a lot of powered by TitanX, and you use your TitanX to, even make your new DragonX. But what if somebody used DragonX and did something else with it? Maybe they mine with it, or they stake with it, probably not stake, or create their meme coin or burn it for something. So I reached out to Eric and I said, hey, we'd like to be the first ones that build on DragonX. And he said, well, that's a great idea. We had some conversations and discussions. And then he said, you want to be a dragon, right? You want to have the dragon thing going on. What if you were the baby dragon, right? DragonX is the big one. We're the first protocol built on TitanX. What if you were the baby dragon? And, because people love cute things. They love they love cute memes and Shiba Inu and Doge and all these other things. And then we talked about it. We liked the idea, right? So we kind of parked the white dragon, the luck dragon idea, and we moved over to a baby dragon. So much more kind of very cutesy, and it was green, and all that type of thing. So fast forward a little bit, and we decided to build on DragonX, take a lot of technical direction from Eric and all that type of thing, and move us all to the way to today, where we've got a great thriving community. We're over 300 members. I think we'll probably hit 500 the next week or so. And we're going to be all about all the principles of TitanX, fair launch, docs founders, right? I'm fully doxed. I've been working with our lead moderator and community member who I see on the stream. I've been working with him for a year. I'm fully doxed, COO of a Web3 company over here based in Singapore. You can see my link tree. You can see my Twitter for many years. My face is on there. My face is on the AMAs and such. So we want to be very different. It's not just a cute meme coin. It's not just a cute dragon. We want to bring some utility to this meme coin. We want to burn. We want to be able to take TitanX off the market. So, just to get into it just a little bit, whenever you mint your baby DragonX, which will be BDX, that will be the ticker, you'll actually submit your TitanX into the portal. So if you've already got DragonX before, you'll know exactly how to do this. The portal will even look the same, like very, very similar, same look and feel. So you'll submit your TitanX. In the background, we will convert it to DragonX, which means that TitanX will be staked, right? And then from that DragonX in the background, it'll be minted into baby DragonX. You will get your baby DragonX in your wallet. So you'll never see the DragonX, but the DragonX is back there. And I've got a little story about it in the white paper, how it's forged in the celestial fires and all that type of thing. So that's it. It is going to be a capped supply. So it's a 14-day mint, just like DragonX has the 1 week by 1 week where the ratio drops. You put in your TitanX, then you get less and less DragonX every week. Same idea with baby DragonX. It's a limited supply. It's only going to be 2 weeks. We're not going to go for 4 weeks, or we're not going to go the whole way out to the end of DragonX, because we want this to be a cap supply where people can actually participate in some, a little bit higher value maybe. And there's going to be more meme coins coming out, right? I mean, we just had one not do so well last weekend, it was just a couple days ago. And then we had JakeX, which was the first one last weekend. And there's a couple more. There's KingX is not a meme coin. KingX is a powerful utility coin in the TitanX market protocol, but that's also another coin that's coming out on the 15th. So we want to be a bit of a meme coin, but there's going to be that utility of, taking TitanX off the market. There's also going to be more things happening, right? With baby DragonX, we're going to do more with this. And you can check out the white paper for some hints of the roadmap. But maybe I'll stop there with questions from any of the panelists, just to take the conversation in the direction you want.
Great. So you're looking at launching end of this month. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I had been working closely with the developers, and contracts are almost done, right? Contracts have been working on for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. Contracts are just about finished. As we all know, they will go into an audit. We expect, because we're speaking with the same auditors that audited TitanX and DragonX. They're going to be really familiar with the code, number one, and they're just really, really good at what they do. So let's say that we confirm with the auditor by Tuesday of which auditor it's going to be and all that type of thing. Let's say it takes 7 days for them to review the code. Maybe there's some remediation of issues. So today is what have we got? 12th. So by the 19th or 20th, maybe we could launch. But even if things slip, even if the auditors, maybe they can't schedule us until this Friday to start, we still believe we can launch by the end of the month. That's why we put out February 29th. It's also a leap year. And we will launch, we have to decide one thing. So let's say that we were ready with the code on the 22nd, 23rd. We would probably launch on the first day of the week with DragonX, because as you know, DragonX goes 7 days for their minting ratio change, right? It'd probably be a lot easier if we just start on their first day. So then, even if we're ready on the even though we're ready on a certain day, we may not start the real launch until the day that DragonX week starts. Long answer to a short question.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. Oh, Mike, yeah, you're back. We can hear you. Great. So, James, in terms of sort of admin keys, are there any admin keys here?
Yeah, so
yeah.
you actually asked this question before, didn't you? And I had to actually copy the answer from the dev. I can't get in my Twitter right now. My X on my desktop is acting up. Give me a minute though. It's just still logging in.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on to another question. Until then, if you don't mind.
Okay, no problem. Mike, I know you just got back a few minutes ago. Do you have any questions for Baby DragonX?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll start with the 14 days, right? Just like DragonX is a fair launch during its full 12-week cycle. So Baby DragonX is a 2-week cycle, 14 days. And the fair launch is basically such that anyone during these 14 days can mint your TitanX and get the specified amount of Baby DragonX, the same as anyone else who either mints on the week 1 to get a certain ratio, or week 2 to get that week's ratio. So you can really follow the same ideas as Baby DragonX there, or sorry, as DragonX. So that's the fair launch. The ratios are the same for everybody. You don't have to rush to get in the first hour or the first day. And it will be a capped supply, right? So the fair launch is right there. I would say that the first week is probably the better week to get in, right? Just the same with DragonX. Week 1 was absolutely the best week. Week 2 is still fine. Maybe you didn't claim your TitanX until week 2 or week 3. So you may not have had access to it. But that's the aspect of the fair launch with Baby DragonX. Week 1, everybody gets the same ratio. No rush, no worried about gas fees. Get in when the GUI is lowest, because it's been very high lately. This whole ERC 404 has made gas insane. I couldn't even claim any of my Zen. The gas was 3 times the price of the Zen, actually.
Okay, so I think I forgot to unmute myself on the YouTube part. But anyhow, so you said week 1 is the ratio is 1-to-1. What about week 2? What is the ratio for the week 2 actually?
Yeah, so it's not exactly 1-to-1. The reason I say that is because the DragonX ratio is I don't have it up. Let me just take a look here. The DragonX ratio right now is 1 TitanX to 0.9 DragonX. So even if we launched today, it would be 1 TitanX to your 0.9 DragonX. But we're probably not going to launch until DragonX is at the 0.85 level, right? So 1 TitanX would be 0.85 DragonX. So it's going to follow exactly what the DragonX ratio is. If you look at their website, you'll know exactly what ours is too. And like I said, our interface is going to look very much like that, because we want to make it easy for kind of a cut and paste of that top bar interface. Is that clear? Did I miss anything?
No, I think probably just to make it more clear. So when the launch is going to be on the 28th of February, that's what you're looking at, right?
Well, so we first of all, the audits have to be completed and issues have to be remedied, and then we would like to launch on the first day of a DragonX contract week. So I don't have those weeks in front of me. I am going to actually drop them in the white paper, though.
I actually,
you have them?
If you the new dashboard which I created for DragonX, you can actually see all those the date ranges for all the weeks actually as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, I'm going to drop them into the white paper then.
Yeah.
Then people can kind of see, all right, if they launch this day, here's the ratio. If they launch this day, here's the ratio. Thanks for telling me that. I will drop that in.
Yeah, I mean, I did my best to verify everything that it's working, but just verify those numbers as well. But I'm seeing here, if you launch on the 28th of February, that's still going to be the 0.8 ratio on the DragonX.
Okay.
And the 29th is going to be the next day, 29th of February, that's going to be the 0.75 ratio. So probably 0.8 would be better. So on the 28th,
28's got that number. I mean, October 28th was day one of TitanX, right? Even though I got in day 33, I'll never forget day one is October 28th. Everybody remembers that one, right?
Yeah. So okay. So should I add on TitanX Hub that the launch is going to be around 28th of February, or should I just type in 8 or end of February?
I would honestly, I just don't like to put anything on there because we don't know how long the audit's going to take. I just don't want to put any bad expectations up. People are saying, oh, wow, we had a great Helios launch. Oh, we had a great KingX launch. DragonX, baby DragonX, they said they would be by this day and it didn't happen. So I've been in software for too many years to make guarantees about things. We do not want you to put anything there, please.
That's great. Fair enough. So probably, I think what I haven't understood clearly yet, obviously, when we have an interview, I'll start doing my drawings and then I'll probably understand better. But one thing is, could you explain probably also the burning mechanism, how that works, and how will that affect the overall supply? Because from my understanding is, in those 2 weeks, you're going to there's going to be a ratio of how much you're going to receive, like how much DragonX you're going to receive, let's say, in the minting phase, and there's also going to be burning as well. So how does that work?
Yeah, certainly. So we'll step through something very briefly, and then we'll jump into what's happening in the background, right? And I've gotten some good feedback on the white paper. People said, this isn't very clear. Like, how does this really work in the back? So we also need to put some pictures in the white paper.
Plan A, can you hear James?
No.
Okay.
I can. Zeba,
Yeah.
if you can hear us, I think you've
we cannot
robbed
hear you anymore. So probably
to borrow that word.
Yeah. Elon rugged us.
Well, Zeba, you probably need to exit and come back in for us to continue.
Yeah, I think that's what he needs to do. I mean, this is the same, which I had to change it to my phone. So that's that.
Oh. Okay. Okay, I would have to, I think we would have to continue, and I think he's exiting now, so good. We'll wait for Zeba to come back. In the meantime, I just need to share with the KingX crew will not be able to join today. I understand I think Marek is sick. That's as in the member of the team that would have been speaking today. So yes, so we will have to just wish them well, wish Marek a quick recovery, and I think, Mike, when we finish with Zeba, I think we just need to touch upon the changes that occurred, recent changes that TitanX market made to their code and the project, just so that we can all aware, and those who would listen to the YouTube recording later on can also be brought up to speed, given that the launch is also quite close on the 15th. So
I mean, what I can do now while we're waiting for James to come back, I can probably give a bit of updates regarding the TitanX.
Yes, please.
So
Okay.
I'm going to pull up my my notes here so that we can actually see. People on YouTube can see this. So
Okay.
let me just pull this up. It's still connecting, just a few moments, and hopefully James is also going to be joining us very soon. Yeah, it seems like it's just connecting without. This is taking much longer than I would like to, but that's when you're doing things live, it seems. All right, we have it opened. So this is some of the updates which happened yesterday, and it's regarding the KingX token, right? So when you participate in the KingX minting phase, which is 17 days, and the ratio changes 0.22% every hour. Yeah, and that's for 17 days. And when you when you have those tokens, you can also, so the KingX tokens, you can stake them, and when you stake them, you can earn some more KingX tokens, right? Because the TitanX market itself, it generates income like through fees, and 36.8% of those fees, like the fees are going to be in ETH, and 36.8% of it is going to go to the KingX token stakers. They're not going to receive the ETH, but it's going to be first it's going to buy TitanX off the market, and then it's going to buy KingX off the market, and then you're going to receive as a staker your KingX. You're going to receive more KingX tokens, and the yield is also liquid, which means you can stay staked, and the liquid you can just claim it, and you can do you can either add it to more to your staking, like compounding, or you can just whatever, like sell it, or just keep it liquid as you would like. And the changes which they have made is regarding hypermarket. This is something which is going to be coming in the future, but you as a holder of the KingX token, you're going to still benefit on the hypermarket when it launches. And how will you going to benefit? It's that the hypermarket, which is going to launch, they said right after hyper. That's what they're going to try to do, to just launch it right after hyper launch. And whatever fees are being generated there, you as a KingX holder, you're going to also benefit of that. And I think 9.2% of those fees are going to go straight to the KingX stakers. And then 36.8% is going to go to the buy and burn, which is indirectly, as a KingX holder, you can also benefit from it as well, because it's just going to be burning those KingX tokens. And one thing also, which is not sure yet, the 46% on the hypermarket, they're not really sure yet. Either they're going to be mining hyper or not, but there's a lot of things which are not yet clear regarding hyper. So that's why, these things are not yet exactly clear, because once the hypermarket white paper launches, it's definitely going to be way more clear, and then they can probably offer some more insights regarding that. But one thing for sure is when you participate in the KingX tokens in the minting phase, you're going to also benefit from the future hypermarket launch, basically. So I think that's pretty much clear. And then I have one person here on YouTube. He's saying, okay, so you stake after the 17 days or straight away with you minted? From my understanding so far is that you minted, and potentially and the thing is, TitanX market itself, the protocol itself, has not launched yet, and that is going to launch. I think they're thinking of launching at the end of February, so end of this month. So when you mint your KingX tokens, you cannot stake it yet, because you need the TitanX market contract to stake your KingX tokens. So the only thing you can do is, like, from my understanding, is they're going to have a liquidity pool straight away at the beginning. So when you mint your tokens, well, at any time, if you feel like, obviously you can sell it or keep it liquid as you wish. So hopefully that's pretty much the update. But if you want to hear more regarding that, I did an interview yesterday with Marek, the King Marek, by the way. You can look up the YouTube interview, and it goes more deeper into that. It's him explaining it. So it's me as a what do you call it? It's like there's the king, and then there's what, the peasants. Yeah. So you just heard what the
pleb.
the plebs. Yes. So you just heard what the pleb understood. Go and hear the king himself talk.
Great. I think on that note, we've got James back. So let's continue. Mike, over to you.
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know when I lost signal. I wasn't looking at my phone. I was looking at the white paper, and I was looking at the DragonX white paper, and I have no idea when you lost me. So what was the last thing you heard me say?
I think you're going regarding the, if I'm not mistaken now, but it was regarding the burning mechanism in some ways, or actually just one step back again. You were talking regarding what happens in the background, because you give up your TitanX, but your TitanX mints, well, like the smart contract mints a DragonX, and then you receive DragonX. Like the view, like you as the user, at the end you just receive a DragonX. Sorry, baby DragonX. Sorry, I'm mixing up things here. You receive the baby DragonX. So you as a user is like the only thing you know is you're sending your TitanX to the smart contract, baby DragonX smart contract, and you receive in return baby DragonX. But now in the background, there's some more things happening, which were not so clear in the white paper. I think one of the things which I was reading it, I was somewhat confused. But nevertheless, I need drawings to understand stuff easier. So then again, it's just, yeah, probably go ahead and explain that.
Wow, I can't believe we missed all of that. I can't believe that my ex, my Twitter, that it canceled, that it broke, because I went through all that already. Okay, great. So let's start back again. So just like you will mint DragonX on the DragonX portal, the baby DragonX portal is going to look very much the same. You will use your somebody may be having some noise there. Anybody can mute, maybe, if you don't mind.
DragonX, can you mute, or let me just mute everyone? It seems like DragonX says.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes. James?
Yeah, James, continue.
You can go ahead. Sorry, guys, for all the technical difficulties here. But yes, James, can you hear us? Indicate whether you can hear us or not.
Yeah, you can just use the symbols there, like because we cannot hear you.
Yeah.
Use the emojis. Can you hear us? Yes or no? Just use the emojis because we cannot hear you.
Yeah, give us a thumbs up if you can hear us.
I think, yeah, we cannot hear him. I just accepted
Yes.
DragonX. DragonX, earlier you
Yeah.
came in and
So-
you're unmuted. You're loud.
My mistake. Sorry about that.
No worries, man. It sounded like you're in a Chinese New Year or something. What's up, man?
Yeah, New Year party. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Yes, James, if you can hear us, please give us a thumbs up. If not, we're just going to have to proceed and wait for you to gain,
Yeah.
if you can regain your access.
I might be able to help answer this since I have a lot of input on the tokenomics as well. I was
Oh, great.
Fire away, my friend.
into that. So what question do you have specifically, Mike?
Yes. So the question was more regarding I looked into the white paper and some few things were not clear. But then again, I did not spend probably enough time to look into it. So as a user, when you send in your TitanX to the smart contract, you just receive at the end. The only thing you receive on your wallet is your your baby DragonX. Now in the background, there's some more things happening, and those are the things which James was supposed to explain to us. What happens in the background, some more.
Yeah, so basically what happens in the background is the TitanX is sent in, and a portion of that is for the team as a team allocation. And what is not provided to the team as an allocation is used to mint DragonX. Now, half of that goes to a DragonX baby DragonX LP, and the rest is distributed. Some of that is distributed to a treasury, which is then used to incentivize other projects and promotions and those types of things that are for Baby Dragon. And another part of it goes to a designated buy and burn. So the Baby Dragon team will actually have a DragonX treasury that they can use to buy and burn Baby DragonX. Does that make sense?
All right. So to just make it clear, 100% of the TitanX is used to mint DragonX first. Is that correct?
Not 100%. There is a small team allocation to cover audit costs and other things. But the rest goes into the DragonX contract and is which is then used for other purposes within Baby Dragon.
All right. So it seems like, okay, so first, some percentage of the TitanX will go to whatever, like Team or Genesis or whatever you want to call it. And then the rest of it is going to go and mint DragonX. So that, like, how much of the percent of which is going to mint DragonX, how is that distribution then there?
Yeah, I don't have the numbers handy because I'm at a Chinese New Year party. But yeah, it's a high proportion of the TitanX will go into mint DragonX, and then the remaining DragonX is basically distributed between various parties and between the LP. So the LP is bootstrapped, and basically trading does not start until after the mint phase. So that LP is just building up as people mint. And then once the trading commences, then that LP's position is basically opened up for users. But before the mint phase is over, there's no trading possible. Trading is restricted.
Okay. Probably, why did you guys choose to not let the trading happen during the minting phase? What is the reason for that?
Because we want the primary pool that is created during the mint. We want the pool that is created during the mint phase to be the dominant pool for game theory purposes. Obviously, people can create other pools once the mint phase is over, but before, basically, we want as much of the value to go into that LP, and that LP needs to build up to a certain value before it can basically kick off. So you want to have as much value in one LP because that gives the Baby DragonX team a lot of basically fees, which they can use to continue to support Baby DragonX. If they don't own a large portion of the LP, then they won't get a large portion of the fees, and they won't be able to support the ecosystem as well.
All right. Yeah, I think that's quite interesting for sure. I mean, I'm not sure if you can answer these questions, but this is more like, okay, what was kind of inspiration to actually build it on top of DragonX than TitanX directly? So, I mean, obviously, it's to your best interest if they build on DragonX because that just keeps, it gives demand to DragonX. I mean, obviously, there is also TitanX will also be locked in DragonX, which is also to your best of interest, let's say, as a creator of DragonX. So I mean, I'm not sure if you know exactly why they exactly chose to do it on DragonX and not on TitanX.
Well,
I mean, I think the founders will probably speak best to that. We were kind of hanging out and chatting in Telegram, and the idea kind of came out of that. And I said, like, hey man, maybe you should build on DragonX Vault, because that way he can leverage the existing community, right, of the DragonX crew, and we can also provide our expertise in developing things and making sure things are super secure. So we're providing that kind of additional assistance, right? It makes this like a really secure and high quality platform on the back end. And in return, we get like another cool kind of like ecosystem built on top of DragonX. And of course, you have the potential price appreciation of DragonX, which makes it more interesting to pair, potentially a more interesting pair than pairing it up with TitanX.
Yeah, very much so. Apologies. Can everyone hear me now? I've had such a problem with this mobile and the spaces. Is it clear now?
We can hear you very well. I guess Eric took over a little bit and he was able to answer some questions as well.
Yeah, terrific. I think one percentage that maybe was not listed is that there is 34% for buy and burn in TitanX, in Baby DragonX. So there is an amount there that's a fairly large amount that can be used for buy and burn.
Okay, so what is the LP going to be on the
50%? Yep. So I did hear Eric going through that one. Hopefully that was really clear. I felt it was clear when he went through it. So 50% will be for the LP, and the pairing will be DragonX and Baby DragonX. So that's going to be a 50%. 34% buy and burn, 3% for the Genesis, 8% dev fee, and 5% expenses, which the audits and all those type of things. And if there's any left over in there, then that can be a portion to buy and burn. Very likely it would just go to that.
Yeah, and we're hooking them up with the best auditors. The TitanX auditors are doing this.
Yep, they'll be most familiar with the code already, so they'll have already spotted anything in the past, and then they'll just run through it. So was it Dead Rose and or one of those other ones?
Yeah, George and Dead Rose.
Yep, George and Dead Rose.
Mm-hmm. All right. So probably some of the question would be regarding. I'm not so sure if this. I read this in the white paper, but was there like some strategic partnership with Titan Legend or something, or some future collaboration? Yeah. Can you talk about that, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mike. All right. So Titan Legends, the first NFT collection in the TitanX ecosystem. I love what they're doing there. I reached out to them very early on as soon as I found out that Rudy was going to be launching this thing, and I became an advisor to Titan Legends, which was fantastic, and highly participated in their launch. And being very engaged with them, and as an advisor, they get to bounce ideas off of each other and that type of thing. So I asked Rudy, because we are baby dragons, what kind of collaboration could we do? And because I come from a long Dungeons and Dragons and fantasy type background, I crafted a story, right? Actually, our founder, my co-founder Michael, he crafted it with me. And we came up with some lore where it starts with the ghost dragon. So there's only one ghost dragon out of all 2,288 of the Titan Legends. That's the granddaddy. That's the patriarch all the way back. And there are many, many other dragons in there. There's the legendary dragons, there's the fire breathers, and there's eggs. So that's going to be happening with Titan Legends. So we're calling it the Titan Legend Dynasty, right? This is the whole lineage. And Baby Dragon is just the newest one on the block. Baby Dragon is the newest one. They're going to have an egg event coming up soon, and then there's going to be what they're calling a scarcity event, which you can learn about that either from their Twitter or their X, or in their Telegram or on their Medium. And we're going to be doing some different things all also in participation. All of those are roadmap. All of those are being discussed about how that would work to benefit both communities.
Well, that is definitely fantastic. So I think we went through pretty much everything, but I don't know if something I'm missing here for now. Like if I forgot something, please just take the time and probably explain that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that you've missed. I would like to say that we are very much community driven. In the white paper, we may change how this is listed to make it more clear. So we actually had the community vote on the logo, right? So we created some logos and we talked about them in the Telegram, and then we put it out on X. The top 4 were actually listed out on X. We ran a 24-hour poll. I tried to do a 48, but Twitter wasn't cooperating. So after the 24 hours, we had 3,000 views of the tweet and almost 150 votes. So number 3, which kind of was my favorite, I kind of just like the look of that one, was actually voted to be the logo. So we're going to be very much community run. Within the Telegram itself, we've got a reputation game running. For those of you Telegram, maybe and on that leaderboard is going to be winnings of Baby DragonX. So whenever the launch is completely finished, that 14 days is up, there's going to be some marketing funds in there, and there's going to be a lot of payouts. So we also sponsored the Weapon Head Poker Tournament. So we sponsored that, so that payout's going to happen then. And also the leaderboard for reputation is going to happen. We're going to have all types of things like this. We love the community to participate. I've been in a lot of projects in my time, and the best ones are not only the ones that return some, get some value, but they're the ones where it's fun to do things in there. Create the art, the memes, be part of it. So that's another kind of an intangible about Baby DragonX.
That's
I think that's it. Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm really looking forward to do like an interview with you so that we can actually go through the mechanics 100%, so that actually people can understand everything. And yeah, probably since DragonX is here as well, you guys are launching the NFT thingy tomorrow. Is that correct or not?
Yeah, I think we're gonna get it out tomorrow. Yes, the DragonX is coming up. We had a second audit, and the second audit came back clean. So I think we're gonna, and the UI is looking good. We're gonna do a final test tonight, and I think the DragonX is coming up, guys. Should be good. We had a second audit, and the second audit came back clean. So I think we're gonna, and the UI is looking good. We're gonna do a final test tonight. Did that come through?
Yeah, I think it came through. Everything was correct. So, I mean, people are listening here who are pretty new, and then you're already launching something with this NFT.
Mike, did that come through?
Yeah, I think it came
like,
through. Everything I don't know, like a fusion, correct. Something like Bowls of Finance. I mean, people are listening here who are pretty new. First of all, I think this is more for advanced people. But second, could you give us a quick rundown how this NFT works, basically? Yeah, like I don't know, like a fusion, something like Bowls of Finance. Could you give a quick rundown how? First of all, I think this is more for advanced people. But second, could you give us a quick rundown how this NFT works, basically?
And you'll be given a representation of that lot. Yeah, it is a bit of an advanced feature, no doubt about it. But basically, the way this works is you'll be able to take your DragonX and effectively lock it up, and you'll be given a representation of that locked value as an NFT. This can be traded. It can be traded on NFT marketplaces. And So we should see a price floor potentially in DragonX NFTs as line burn removes supply. This is interesting because if you look at what happened with Bozo, it got harder and harder to make one of these NFTs because you need to buy supply. But as people are coming in and buying the price up, the supply gets more and more scarce. So the NFT gets more and more scarce and more valuable, which incentivizes people to buy more Bozo token and push up the price. So it's basically a virtuous cycle. And that could very well play out with DragonX. We don't know for sure, obviously. Sorry, was I speaking that in DragonX?
Yeah, absolutely. I think people are clear. I think there's one guy on YouTube and he's asking, can you ask if this is the same project DragonX was talking about NFT like Bozo? Well, there is the baby DragonX, and then there is what's the name of the DragonX NFT? What's the name for that?
DragonX Hybrid is our
Okay.
That's our hybrid NFTs, and basically they allow you to transact in DragonX without use as a secondary market. So you can do OTC trades with it, but they also have this deflationary aspect. And it plays pretty well with DragonX, which is kind of a store of value on TitanX, right?
That is correct. Yeah. So I mean, basically, the NFT is just you're locking up your DragonX into a smart contract, and you receive a receipt in form of an NFT, and that NFT represents now whatever amount of tokens you've locked up in that smart contract. And that NFT now you can actually sell it, because whoever gets that NFT will be able to go back to the smart contract and like they can redeem basically their DragonX with that NFT, that receipt, as you can call it.
Exactly. So, and when they redeem it, they destroy the NFT, right? And that increases the scarcity of the NFTs.
Okay. So okay, you burn the NFTs, and that's why the scarcity. It's okay. That's how it works. All right. I was just looking at it purely on the technical basis.
No, they'll be scarcer in the market, right? If someone comes in and gets an NFT and sells the tokens, they could distribute amongst the users, and the buy and burn comes in and burns it up. So then it gets harder to make the next NFT.
But how come is it harder to mint the next NFT? I mean, it's like if I lock up, I don't know, let's make like just a simple example. If I lock up, let's say, I don't know, 100 units of DragonX, right? I get the NFT, and I can obviously there is a fee for creating those, so it does cost a bit of money to lock up my DragonX and receive the NFT. But like, I mean, I don't still understand how value is created there. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something on how that gets created.
Well, that's a good question. So value does not automatically get created. But there is a market price to the DragonX token. So if the NFT was created at a lower market price, then it's more difficult if the price goes up and that NFT to be created again. So if someone comes in and they mint that and they redeem that NFT and destroy it, it's more difficult to replace it than it was before. That makes sense?
Okay. But the thing is, like, the amount of it still stays the same, though.
The amount is the same, but the price is higher.
Okay, but the price is higher, but because of the price is just higher because, well, meanwhile, when you had created an NFT, the price just went up basically. But that's how things are, right?
Yeah, assume the price goes up, right? I mean, obviously the price doesn't necessarily go up.
Yeah.
But if the price is going up, then the price of the NFT is going up. So if I'm a new person to DragonX and I want to create an NFT and sell it on the market, I need to get those tokens again. And that's going to be more expensive.
Okay, I understand. Okay, so I mean, okay, probably just simply to I think the last time when I explained this was more imagine you have a place where you can store your gold or something, right? You just bring whatever 1 kilo of gold and whatever. You get a receipt that you have now stored gold in that gold storing facility, and now you can, with that receipt, let's say if you give it to your brother and he goes back and redeems it, like he can get the gold back. So with this, in some ways, is now imagine I don't know, I put in a bag of gold, I put like 10 kilos, right? And now like I'm selling those 10 kilos of gold, but I'm only selling the receipt in some ways. So right now, if I can always go back to the shop and redeem the 10 kilos, uh, but I could also just be selling, or like I could be selling peer to peer the NFT, the receipt in some ways. Is that somewhat correct? Maybe like live, I didn't make it as elegantly as probably when I do it in a video, but this is like my simplified understanding.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's like the access to a safe deposit box. Right? If the item inside the safety deposit box is getting more expensive, then you would expect to trade that key to that box
Yes.
for more money, right?
Exactly. Yep. I think that is the simplest way of explaining it in some ways, because a lot of these technicalities, I think, like, I don't know, I understand it for sure, but when I talk to normal people, like, they tune out very quickly when I go on the technical side. So I like to explain it in that simple manner. Yeah. But I mean, in essence, is if you are a DragonX holder, like, I mean, apart from the fees for creating that NFT, you can always create an NFT if you want. I mean, there's going to be fees with it, but aside from the fees, for you, it doesn't really matter if you're a liquid holder or an NFT holder, because you can always create one. But the only issue is maybe the fees are going to be in the beginning much cheaper to create those NFTs. Is that correct?
The fees are fixed, but you have to remember if the economic value required to create an NFT is increasing because the price of the token is increasing, then only those that have tokens can create it, right? So if you want to create an NFT, you need to create it by buying tokens off the market. This is what we're doing with the Bozo hybrid, which is that it creates, and I'm not saying that this will happen, but it creates something of a frenzy, because people see the price of the NFTs and they want to cash out into Solana, right?
Yeah.
But to do that, they need the Bozo token.
All right.
So
Okay.
they push the price up and make them create that NFT. The next NFT is harder to create because the price of the Bozo token just went up.
I understand. Okay, that's pretty interesting for sure. I think it's much more clear now. But I mean, as a DragonX holder, like, you can just, well, sit on your tokens and create an NFT if you wish, basically. But if you're not a DragonX holder, then obviously when the price appreciation comes and people trying to make those NFTs, it's going to be much harder for them. But as a DragonX holder, that's not going to happen to you, let's say, right?
Right. Yeah, and the thing is, one thing about DragonX you have to remember is how many people are in TitanX? 15,000?
Like, I mean, like, according to my Dune dashboard, like 13,200 or something like that. 13,546.
There's only 1,700 DragonX holders, right? So there's more people outside of the project than inside. Right. So that means that there's likely to be more buy pressure than sell pressure, all things being equal. Right? There's some people only chase green candles, right? They can't see the value of the mint days, and that's okay. But for those people who only chase green candles, the time to get into DragonX will be later. When that happens, DragonX price could go up a lot, right? Obviously, nobody knows, but in theory, it could go up a lot. So those NFTs are going to be hard to get.
Yeah, that's definitely very interesting. And Petro from YouTube is saying, is there a white paper for the DragonX NFT?
Yeah, I believe I released it in the Telegram.
All right, Pedro, as I think you've heard it, just head over to titanxhub.com and you're going to see DragonX. I think it's number 2 currently. And then under the projects links, you can just click the Telegram group and you can join the Telegram group and you will find the white paper in there. I think this is definitely way more clear for me right now because I wasn't so sure regarding how this NFT it will create value in some ways, but the value creation in some ways would be, um, yeah, well, it's just going to be harder to create those NFTs, but it's only harder. Like if you're sitting on DragonX tokens, then it's not going to be harder for you because you have the tokens, apart from the fees, obviously.
But you have to consider that there are, so the first thing is that there is actually a tangible value, which is if you're a DragonX whale, you're in the market, right? You can cash out in Ethereum. So there is actual tangible value to it. You can basically do an OTC instead of hitting the markets. And that's one piece of tangible value. But another piece of another thing that makes these things valuable is the fact that unlike Bozo Hybrid, we're actually burning tokens, right? The contract's constantly burning DragonX after the 84th day. So there's always less supply. So if you look at the chart of DragonX supply after the 84th day, it's just a consistent decline, right? So you would expect an NFT that requires the token to compose it to become more and more difficult to compose, all else being the same, right?
Yeah, that's definitely very interesting, man. I think the last time when we did the interview, I think I was not understanding the concept quite well. I mean, I understood in the technical part, but it was not somewhat clear to me because I was like, okay, I'm holding DragonX tokens. Like, why should I participate in this? But well, it's not necessarily as a DragonX holder that you need to participate per se. But if you're just a holder, you don't really need to do much. I mean, unless you're really looking into this hybrid NFT, you can just be a passive observer, and if the demand will be there for whatever reason, then you might capture that value as well, pretty much. And regarding the burning as well, um, the DragonX Dune dashboard I created, you can actually see. I mean, these are numbers are not verified. I did my best to yeah to be as exact as possible, but there could be errors. But definitely, Eric can look into those numbers and just verify them. Currently, 4.3% of the total supply of DragonX has been burned. This is my numbers here, which I have it on the Dune dashboard. But that's definitely very interesting. I mean, if that number is correct.
Yeah, that sounds right. And you have to remember that this is the most inflationary phase, right? So I think it's very interesting for you guys.
Yeah, I mean those numbers.
Thank you for creating that dashboard. Thank you so much. That was amazing.
Uh,
I'm really happy.
Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, it does quite take a lot of time to create these, so I need like a really quite a big chunk of block time where I really because I need to be concentrated and it just takes time because whenever I start doing it, start stopping, it just doesn't work. Like I need to have one sitting where I have several hours where I'm free and then I can just do them and then I can improve upon those. So yeah, anyhow, I mean those are definitely very interesting numbers here, especially 4.3% now has already been burned. So one interesting fact as well, which I was while I was making this, was that if you go to Dex Screener and search for DragonX, and if you look at the price in TitanX, um, then what you're gonna see is that we are 4.86% higher than the one-to-one mint phase, right? So it's like 4.86% higher. If you look at the price in TitanX, right? So we have gained 4.86% on TitanX. And if you look at now the burn phase, like how much has been burned, that is 4.3%. So I mean, I don't know where the value exactly comes from, but it's definitely very interesting, those numbers.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you can see the basically the price ratcheting, effect that we were talking about taking root. It's a bit delayed, I would say.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because you have sellers and people who are willing to sell at these prices, right? So it's still ultimately heading in the right direction.
No, you're totally right. So I mean, my expectation was maybe this price ratcheting would have been a bit faster, but I mean, nevertheless, right? We don't know what market will react, and this is exactly what happens. So if I'm right on the screen right now, so people on YouTube can actually see this. So right now, the price is. I always look at the price in TitanX, right? Because then at least you have a reference point which doesn't move, right? Because if you look at USD price, it's always moving. So anyway, this is just how I work best. So the price right now is 1.04. So you need sorry. So the price is 1.04 in TitanX, let's say, right? So now of week 3 should we are right around the ratio of week 3, which is 0.95, and the price would have been 1.0526. So we are right under that. So it is slowly catching up, it seems, but we're definitely way behind regarding that. I mean, right now we are in week, I don't know what week are we in currently. Week 4, is it?
Week
4. So the price, the ratio is 0.9 currently week 4, and the price on week 4 should have been 1.11, right? So we have a way to go there still. So we shall see what the market will say, but definitely very interesting. I mean, for now, it seems to me rather, why would somebody mint DragonX now if they can get it much cheaper on the market?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's people acting irrationally.
Yeah.
You expect rational actors to have arbitrage in some way already. But I mean, yeah, I think we're kind of in a bit of a slump for TitanX overall. There's a bit of lack of engagement throughout all the chats, and that's not. I mean, that's kind of expected, right? It's not fun. It's just, people are a little bit checked out, so I don't think a lot of people are really realizing that there's arbitrage to be done, and that's fine. Like ultimately, the market will clear this discrepancy.
Okay, but regarding DragonX, like, okay, maybe this is not my. Oh yeah, sure, arbitrage. But I mean, so basically, because I'm seeing people are still minting, let's say, right? I have the data now on Dune dashboard, right? Uh, and I mean, my understanding, which is, if the price is underneath the minting ratio, is like you should just buy off the market, because then at least you push the price to the minting price, and then if it goes over it, people can arbitrage it down. Or this is somewhat confusing for me how people act, but well, this is I guess how people act in the market. Anyhow, Plan A, you got something to say? Go ahead.
Yes, so we've got Jaco Sinman waiting. I think he probably has something to say. So,
All right.
Jaco, over to you.
Yeah, hi guys. Good evening from the side. Good to finally see all you guys in one room. Zivo, Mo, Helos, DragonX, Eric, Mike, speak to you guys. I just want to say this baby DragonX is going to do well. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful project, especially from a marketing perspective. The images are just out of get Baby DragonX. I've got two questions to actually obtain Baby DragonX. Would we need TitanX liquid or DragonX?
We've got James still listening. Of course, but Eric probably can respond to that because, okay, I think, but just bear with us. I think James can come up and take that one.
Yeah. So James,
I was not connected, but it looks like somebody made me speaker. Can you hear me now?
yeah, we can hear you.
Okay?
Yep.
Terrific. I actually had to update my X midstream. That was why it kept crashing, but we'll see if it stays here. So, really good question there. So first, thanks for the compliment on the marketing. We're always looking for ways to improve our marketing, and the community is the best in marketing. You know, an active community is your best marketing force. So, just like the way I'm explaining it, and I may need to change it to be more clear, the same way that you mint DragonX will be how you mint Baby DragonX. So the look and feel of the portal is going to be kind of the same. People were kind of used to it. So you'll need to have liquid TitanX. Then you will submit that into the portal. We'll tell you how much Baby DragonX you're going to get. And then it'll be minted in the background, and you'll have it right in your wallet. So nice, smooth, and easy process.
Okay, great stuff. All right, okay, 100%. And then just second question, which you guys probably covered. Sorry, I joined late. Any idea when Baby DragonX is released?
Yeah, you know, I hear the founders, they have these different founders, they have the best answers. We'll release the code when it's we'll release it when it's perfectly safe, right? So we're using the same auditors that DragonX and TitanX has used. So we're in the last couple steps of all the contracts being completed. There's a couple T's to cross and I's to dot. And we'll be getting the code in front of those auditors. Don't know their schedule. These auditors are super busy because, as you may have noticed, the bull run is starting, right? Look at my last tweet. The top 23 by market cap, they're all up over the last 7 days. Many of them are up double digits. And look at them for the last month, same kind of thing. So these auditors, it's the auditor season. Everybody's putting code in front of them. Get my code approved. I want to launch tomorrow. And they just can't do it. So these are the best auditors in the business. They already know the code. That's the benefit of using these auditors. We already know the code, right? 90% of the code base, they already got it. All those little couple percentages are just different there. So we expect by the end of February, I would love to launch as soon as possible. And we're going to tell you, we have a very transparent methodology in Baby DragonX. We tell you everything we know. So there you go.
Oh, I'm actually in no hurry whatsoever because I'm lacking a little bit of time and some liquid. Take your time. I'm not too early, so take your time, guys.
Fantastic. Yeah, everybody's gonna have time to claim. You know, I have a minor I didn't claim from yesterday because it's stacking up that extra 7 days.
Yeah, awesome. Because the speed at which that makes the whole ecosystem is growing, it's mind-boggling. I'm definitely, you know, every time I look at the TitanX hub.com from Mike, there's something new and something I don't understand. And then it's like a couple hours. It's mind-boggling. My mind's been spinning since. Great job, guys. I think this is going to be one of the purposes of this run. Awesome. Thanks for the opportunity to speak.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jaco. I think you've mirrored a lot of what everyone's thinking. You know, I join all the other chats, right? Even though I'm the founder, co-founder of Baby DragonX, you're always going to see me in these other chat groups helping out.
people say, look at the price chart. You know what I told them? Look at the TitanX website. Look at the price chart. Look at all these projects that will be burning TitanX. There's not going to be enough TitanX. Forget the price. In 30 days, 60 days, 90 daes, you'll be crying that the price is too high. And I can't wait to be crying for that. I really can't wait.
Price shock coming in. That means supply shock and so that's it.
Jacob, thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution and your comments. So we are all looking forward to the same thing, and we may continue to grow past our expectations. Definitely, that's that I certainly will identify with. You know, well.
Has Eric left us?
Yes, Eric is he's at a party. I think that's what he said. Huh? Chinese New Year party.
Chinese New Year's party. All right. Okay.
You know, so anyway, was requested. Please, over to you. Do you have any questions for James? Can you hear us?
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can hear you now. You're back on mute, so just in case you don't know.
Okay, sorry guys. Quick question. First is on the TitanX Hub. It's a fantastic platform. Like a great job kind of building that off. I'm using that as a basically source of truth for all TitanX projects as it pertains to the links that it takes you directly to the the current project platform. Is there any checks and balances you do, Mike, to make sure the links are valid? Any audit checks you do? Because as we go on in this journey with TitanX ecosystem, I believe your platform will be utilized by a lot of people to basically be the source of truth for all projects. And we just want to make sure that the links there, as it takes you to a particular platform to mint TitanX, DragonX, and such, are legit. And so far, there's no issue. But I'm wondering, is there any checks and balances you do to make sure that there isn't invalid links, or if somebody hack the platform and put these invalid links? I'm just wondering if there's anything you do or precaution that you have taken to counteract that.
Yeah, I mean, so for my end, I mean, I just work more or less like, I don't know, like a pilot or something. I just have a checklist which I just go through, which is more or less the same, and it's always growing and changing a little bit as well. But one thing for sure is I'm a software developer, so I just employ every.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello, can you guys hear me? Hello.
Yes, I think for some reason CryptoP has.
Okay.
Yeah, he's.
No worries, I can.
Technical difficulties, so
I can just answer.
But continue.
Okay.
You can finish up with that question, and I think Warrior Soul is here. He's got his hand up as well. Once you finish up, we can go to Warrior.
All right.
Warrior Soul.
Oh yeah. So regarding TitanX.com, I mean things regarding the links, or if they're correct or not. Well, I just have a checklist pretty much. I go through my checklist and I just whatever. Like I send like a particular listing, let's say like links, like they are provided by the team themselves. First of all, that's the first thing, right? They contact me through the DM, and I just provide them like a list where they have to just write in everything. So that's the first thing. They have to do it, and I just basically just take whatever I got from them and paste them into and put them in the database. So that's the first thing. The second thing is like once it's updated, I just tell them like, hey, go through all the links and verify that they're all correct. That's the second thing, right? So first check is they have to provide it to me. I put it in the database and I tell them to verify that all the links are correct. So that's regarding listing. The second part is regarding hacks and stuff like that. I'm a software developer. I'm also somewhat very privacy concerned individual, and I employ everything regarding all the best practices in security. I employ them to the T. And obviously, at the end of the day, human and there's errors which can be made, but yeah, I follow all the best practices and regarding security and everything else. So that's what I would say about that.
Yeah, also, if I can just jump in, Mike, also from your perspective, you can see there's a timestamp every time or each time something or link gets changed or file gets changed. So we'll be able to spot it really quickly from your side. I suppose that's how you do it as well.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's also one thing which, but I mean, at the end of the day, is like, like one thing which you have to protect first is obviously the database as well, right? I mean, and you employ all the best practices, right? You have your 2FA, obviously not SMS with your number because they can still change your number and stuff like that. There's that, right? There's the database, and then there's the front end, the hosting part, where obviously you also employ all security measures. I mean, there is good security best practices, and if you follow them, and you significantly lower all those kinds of hacks and so forth. So I employ all the best security practices I know, and I also have other software developers as friends who are very security concerned. Let's put it that way, and they update you with all kinds of yeah, security updates regarding the current security updates and stuff like that. I mean, these are some of them, you could consider them like very paranoid individuals on the security point of view. So you do get a lot of updates, um, how security works, and yeah, I mean, to summarize, I employ every security best practices which is known, pretty much. That's what I could say. There's more questions here on YouTube, and I'm seeing DragonX is back. It seems like the Chinese New Year party is not so interesting. Eric, you wanna come back? We have more questions here, man, for you.
Mike, sorry, Eric, if you don't mind, I think Warrior has been waiting. Warrior Soul has been waiting for a bit. Can we just take his question?
No worries, man.
And then, of course, I mean, he may have a question for Dragon. He may have a question for Eric and or Jay. So, Warrior, over to you.
I've been a part of the community thing, space and with everyone being here. It's pretty awesome to have everyone in one space. I have one question and one comment. Please do not consider it FUD. This is just, I'm trying to be as constructive as possible. So one, I haven't seen it, so if you've mentioned it, I apologize for either not being there or not picking it up. But for the DragonX hybrid NFTs, is there a limit? So Bozo hybrid, as I understand it, it's essentially working with circulating supply and NFT supply, and that is part of the reason for its price action. So if we have a 5-tiered DragonX hybrid NFT, will that be essentially divided to a capped amount, or what that look like? And the comment that I have is with Telegram, and I'm sure some of you folks have seen me comment on it because I didn't realize that I was muted in the chat for a while, and I kept asking questions and wondering why some of my questions weren't being answered. And so, to your point, Eric, about what you said earlier today, as far as engagement going down, it could very likely be that there's a massive amount of people who are using. I know that I'm not the only one to have this issue. If you want people to engage, let them speak freely, and perhaps getting the admins on the same page as you and what you want with the Telegram chat and what you want the intent to be, that might help. So thank you for letting me speak.
Eric, are you talking actually? Because we cannot hear you. Plan A, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
But I can't hear Eric. So,
All right.
you're right. Eric,
Eric,
we can't hear you.
Elon has rocked again. Just close the app and rejoin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
better. In the meantime, Mike, I think you were saying earlier that there's questions on YouTube.
yeah. It was regarding Eric. It was regarding Eric anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think Eric is coming back in. So, yeah.
Guys, while we're waiting for Eric, can I just have a suggestion for Mike team?
Yeah, fire away, my friend.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you very much for all the community work you've done in the recent past. It's been incredible, especially to bring on board new users. I just want to give an impression that regarding the scarcity which is incoming, and of course, most of us know that it is incoming, although the price does not reflect that right now. The work which my team you do is it possible for you to add a graph which says TitanX minted per month? So it can show the past as well as the coming few months. So for example, in the month of January alone, we had 31 trillion added to the supply, which is an actual. In February, most likely will be around 20 trillion. And March forecast looks at this stage around 15 trillion. So all these figures actually state that we are getting towards that is a deflationary sort of supply. It's just that your current content is amazing, but you got to understand the masses. If you drill it down to the Titan metric per month, that's going to be phenomenal, because it gives you a representation for actual for the past month and forecasted for the future. Obviously, not undermine your existing work. That's amazing as well. But it's something if you can have a think about it. I've also sent you a few direct messages as well, just for your kind consideration. Thank you.
All right, no worries. I mean, regarding the minted tokens by month, it's already there. I think the only one probably which you're talking about is the future one. But so far, the minted supply is by month is already there.
Robust, do you have a comeback to that?
Look, if it's already there, I must have missed it, so apologies.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay, no problem.
I think the only thing which you're missing now is like the future supply, which by month, that's definitely not there. I have now 14 days, 30 days, and 90 days, and the whole 200, the next 280 days. But yeah, for the month, the future ones are not there yet. But the minted tokens, which is starting from last year, every month, the supply is right there on dune.com/marketing./TitanX.
Okay, great. I think, that's good feedback, and I hope you got a good response there. So yes, there was a question for DragonX. There's a question for Eric.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that was Jocko who was talking. So yeah, looking at the chat, only 13 people are not allowed to speak in the chat out of 2,000 people. So I would say DM with your Telegram, and I'll look back to see what might have been said to get you into that position. And get unbanned. I think we're pretty lenient in the chat, but sometimes it can get ridiculous or over the top. Sometimes people are arguing between each other. Like, trying to keep it positive. If someone is asking a question on repeat after answered, that sometimes feels like it's just FUD. So sometimes that will end up with someone being silenced. And so that's kind of like that's kind of all I can say. Only 13 people out of 2,000 have been muted. So just DM me with your Telegram, and I'll take a look. In terms of the Bozo stuff, so we don't have a cap on the number of NFTs. We have a deflationary token. So it's the price of DragonX and the supply of DragonX that determines the deflationary aspect of.
Do you have a question for Eric or James?
Yeah, I'm new to this community. This is the first time I joined this space, and I do see Titan, right? And I do have my issue statement, and I see you have a dragon is NFT you launched. Is that right?
It's not launched yet.
Not launched yet. No. Okay. Yeah. We have a Web3 community. If you see my screen, you see my profile, you will see AWSP. We have a daily Twitter space every day, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And every Wednesday we have watch coffee time. You can come share your project. If you want, you can come to our space, share your project. And our community are early, crypto and NFT adopters. So yeah, we also have our own project, Beatles, was launched on ETHW, which is forked from ETH back to September 2022. And last year we launched our Mesh Beatles ordinals, and also Mesh block on the rare stuff, 78. And welcome to join our space. And we have a daily space.
Thanks, Yaya. I mean, if you might let me ask, and is this a space that is specific to a particular community? So, yeah.
Your space or you ask my space?
I'm asking your spaces, yes.
Oh, my space is open to discuss everything. And project owners come here to share their project. And, on Web3, a lot of people, they are doing the tradings daily, right? Tokens, BTC, ETH, Solana, Avalanche, a lot of others, AI token, AI related tokens, and also a lot of, working on the web list for NFTs, and also a lot of for how to say do the I see every new chain or project that you whole game you do some test, do some bridge or swap, you will get the airdrop like SEI, SUI, IPT, and SEXPAD games. So yeah, we have a lot of people members. They also are very good at for doing this one. Yeah, they some of them use technology. A lot of scientists in our team, they are doing that. Let's see, 10 hundreds accounts. So yeah, they get a lot of airdrops. Not like me. I have a daily work. So.
Well, I'll just look at your name. Is that Chinese?
Yes. I originally I'm from China. I was born in China, and then long time ago, I come to US. So right now.
So it's so the community is the community mainly Chinese, or is it a mix?
It is the AWSP people actually in US, Europe, and main technical guy. They are located in Silicon Valley area.
Well,
yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
In our space we speak mainly Chinese, but sometimes English speaker, project owner here we can speak English as well.
I see. I think that was where I was getting to, really, to see whether you would have a translator if it was spoken English. But in any case, I mean, I think DragonX. I think Eric it seems to have.
Eric left us again. We have more questions, man. What happened to you, Eric? Eric is still listening. Eric, come back. That New Year's Chinese party is not yet enough. It can't be that good.
The year of dragon. The year of dragon bring people money, right? Yes.
Correct.
Good news. Good expectation. BTC will be having, right? And we're going to reduce the rate and the election. So a lot of good expectation.
There's a lot that's on the horizon. But I was just about to say that James, who I don't know whether you heard him speak earlier, will have his NFT project on tentatively end of this month. He may be interested in sharing his project with your group. But in any event, I think what I will suggest is I'll just probably send you a message after this, and I can actually share with the rest of the various TitanX protocols or the rest of the community. And if they're interested, they definitely will reach out to you, and they can come and share their projects with your group. How about that?
Yes, great.
Okay, so let's just say watch the space and expect a message from me. So I'm actually sent you a follow. I think if you follow back, then I think I'll be able to send you. Okay, great. Okay, thanks for that. So Pete, over to you.
All quick hitters. For DragonX, DragonX NFT, would it have its own UI? Like DragonX UI to purchase the NFT?
Yeah, unfortunately, he left us, so we cannot really answer that. I guess tomorrow, it seems like they want to launch tomorrow, so I think it's going to be more clear tomorrow, I guess. But I would just assume that it's going to be, either it's just going to be on the DragonX website, and if not, maybe on a subdomain or something,
Yeah, will you have the link to it, Mike, once it's kind of established?
I think so.
Like a different platform?
I think so. But nevertheless, I do believe that if there's going to be any links, if there's going to be a subdomain, you're going to find it on DragonX.win at the bottom of the page. I presume that's where they're going to add in all the links, which they have even right now regarding the official social media and all the DragonX. So I presume if it's not going to be on the DragonX.win site, they're gonna put the link at the bottom of the page of DragonX.win.
Got it. And I know Eric is here, but you guys also talked about the NFT DragonX NFT in more details. So I'm trying to understand, like, let's say the NFT tomorrow,
No.
or whenever. Like, only the whole DragonX token doesn't really matter, right?
I mean, that's exactly what I was asking him early on, pretty much. There's no hurry really to mint that if you are a DragonX holder, obviously. But when, let's say, if something happens for whatever reason, and the price of DragonX starts pumping, for whatever reason, I mean, there's new demand, or I don't know, people like it because it has a dragon or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter where the demand comes from. It's gonna be much harder to, because for you to create the NFT, you need to buy DragonX first, right? And yeah, and that's can happen for sure. Which is the price of DragonX pumps. People want to have that NFT, or they want to create one, basically. Well, they'll have to buy an DragonX first, then create the NFT. There's a bit of fee for creating that NFT. How high that fee is currently, I'm not so sure, but if you join the Telegram, you're gonna find the white paper there, and I think it goes through all of those things. I went through the white paper, but I don't have the numbers in my head right now. But in short, if you're DragonX holder, no need to hurry at all, because you can just create one. I mean, the fees are going to be denominated, I think, I think they're both in TitanX and DragonX, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's just going to be more expensive when, if any of those start pumping, those fees are going to be higher in dollar terms, but they're fixed in TitanX terms and in DragonX terms. They're fixed.
I'm reading off a different route now. Related with KingX, as it relates to the stake portion of it, I know once like the TitanX market launches, that's when you're able to stake. But am I hearing this correctly? When you stake KingX, you get KingX back. You're not getting like
That's correct.
Ethereum or TitanX. Okay.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right.
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what Marek, the king Marek. I'm gonna call him King Marek now, man. We are plebs here. So, King Marek, I think, explained that yesterday, and I think probably for me it wasn't it wasn't also 100% clear. But yes, that's true. You as a staker will receive KingX tokens, and you can remain staked and that KingX. So it's going to be probably very similar as TitanX, whereby you're staked and you can go and mint, not mint. What's the right word for it? Your ETH. You can claim your ETH, let's say, right? Then you're just going to claim not ETH. You're going to claim KingX tokens, basically. So the same staking mechanism will be very similar on the technical side, but you're going to get KingX tokens, basically, right? And in the background, the ETH, let's say, will buy off TitanX and then buy KingX tokens, which you're going to receive. So hopefully that's clear.
Yeah, got it. It'll be like similar to, I guess, Hyper. So when you stake Hyper, you can Hyper back instead of any other asset. Since with KingX, that's what's happening. Okay. Understood. Thank you.
All right, yeah. I'm not even so sure regarding Hyper yet. I'm not so sure if there is so much information out there. So, but anyhow, yeah, I think you got the point how it works.
Perfect.
Sorry, I'm still there. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Okay. That was a good, really good response. I think we should start looking at winding down now. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to come up and raise it. I think we all know that this spaces provides us quite interactive and share of things before they even become your role. So, any bottleneck issues that you have, or any concerns or comments?
Yeah, I have one more question.
Okay.
Yeah, as it relates to KingX, when you stake it, I know you can unstake it whenever, but like, is there a unstaking period? Like, would you unstake like I said today? Like, get it right back, or you have to wait
There's no locking period. There's no locking period.
When I stake, I'm going to stake anytime I want.
Anytime you want. There's no locking period whatsoever. It's like you can start staking and unstake. Well, I guess the next block if you want.
Got it. Okay. Cool.
Mike, if I can just quickly ask a question. The KingX token, does it launch on the same day as TitanX market, or is it two separate launch days?
Yeah, it is two separate launch dates, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So there's either 14-day man period for KingX, and then most likely TitanX launch after that. TitanX market or after that, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, from I think what King Marek said yesterday is that they're looking to launch at the end of February. But I mean, I think some few things are not yet 100% clear, and I guess, yeah, but they said, I think if I'm not mistaken, yesterday he mentioned that they're looking to launch at end of February. But yeah, if everything works fine, but I think that can change a little bit, regarding. I don't know. There's like audits and some other things which can come into play. I mean, software. I mean, I don't know, guys. Like software projects are really hard, and yeah, that's why there's a bit of delay can always happen. I think some of you guys who are in the community for some time already, we know how software projects can go.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I was just looking at your site, and it was something that I wasn't sure about. But yeah, thanks, 100%. Thank you, man.
No problem. And regarding some of these things, regarding launch dates, I mean, unless they send me anything, I will not put it up in the site, because regarding also baby DragonX, I mean, James mentioned that it's going to be February, but he doesn't want to put it straight in the TitanX Hub website because, yeah, things can go wrong, but like, you don't want to put too much expectations when exactly, because a lot of things can happen. But yeah, probably James can. He's up here as a speaker, so he can say something as well maybe regarding that.
Yep, I probably don't want to say any more than you just said, Mike. So terrific.
Jaco, can you mute, please?
Yeah, sure. I'm just my phone.
All right. Yeah, because you have some background noise. That's why. James, did you say something there? Did I miss it?
No, you asked if I had anything additional to say, and I did not. So
fantastic.
We will launch when the code is safe for the community, not a minute before.
All right. It seems, Jack, you're still not muted. I'm gonna mute everyone and then.
Yeah, probably mute me as well.
Okay. I mean, it seems like I cannot. Yeah, now you're muted in some ways.
I would suggest everyone, just like I had to do, check your upgrades, check the Play Store or the App Store. You're going to find that you probably have to do an update. And if you need an update in X, it really affects the voice. It affects all those things. So close your browser maybe, and then update your mobiles if needed. I think it'll straighten.
Thanks.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, I don't know. It seems like plan A, either I cannot hear plan A or you guys cannot hear me. So can you do like a thumbs up to see if you guys can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, fantastic. All right, plan A. We can hear you back now. So you were gone there for a second.
Okay. Well, I'll say, I was just reading that question that was asked, but it's fine. I don't think, I think that could be always addressed at a later point. It's not a project that has come up yet, or that's on. I think we can wait for that project to come up and one, right when we can address it. Yes, Crypto P, go ahead.
A question for Helos. I'm sure you've done it, and I haven't really read the white paper yet, but I know with your it's really similar to TitanX, where you're able to kind of mine, but you're getting Helos. But can you just walk me through how the UI will look exactly similar to TitanX, where you can kind of look at the ROI, rent, the cost, and all that stuff? Can you just walk me through one? If I were to mint this token, not mint, but through the mine, can you just tell me exactly, as a user, how will the UI look, and kind of walk me through the process?
Yeah, absolutely. We intend on launching the app ahead of time, and I'll definitely do some kind of walkthrough video as well, or maybe some kind of live stream to kind of go over all the functions of it. But first, there will be a dashboard that shows all of your assets, your rewards, all your miners and your stakes. And then as far as mining and staking specifically go, we've designed our UI to be almost identical to TitanX's, so that there's no confusion whatsoever on how to accomplish those. So anybody that's familiar with TitanX will feel exactly at home with mining and staking on our protocol.
Perfect, thank you. Another question is the integrating bonus, is that capped as a percentage, or is that just free flowing based on whenever I create the miner, when the miner comes in and you get the bonus to get that?
Yeah, there's no cap at all. That was one feedback that we got from now that we've seen TitanX running for 100 days. One of the feedbacks was that the T rank bonus kind of got out of control in the beginning and kind of flooded the market fairly. So we decided to scale it back about 60% of the rewards that you would get on TitanX. So I believe it's still going to be a very healthy bonus for your H rank and for your miners, but at the same time, kind of scale it back just a little bit so that we're not just insanely flooding the market with additional circulating supply. But there is no cap on it. So every miner that starts, so on day one, 1 power gets you 10 HLX. So 100 power miner will get you 1,000 HLX. Yeah, it'll still be, I think it's a little bonus though.
And if I went into, let's say, if I'm a liquid token, how would I sell that off market? Will it be initial liquidity in MinerShop, or how does that work?
Yeah, our main LP will be owned by our buy and burn smart contract. So when we launch, the buy and burn contract will create the liquidity pool, and we'll have V3. It'll be paired HLX versus TitanX. That's going to be the only pair. So if you've got ETH, I mean, obviously Uniswap will do the conversions for you in the background, but it will route through TitanX first to get to HLX, which is the main reason for doing this. Is we want to be a leverage play on TitanX. So if you think TitanX will do well, we by default will do well regardless of how we do personally.
Perfect. And the next question I had is, as I understood, rewards are based on, I guess, 50% Ethereum and 50% TitanX. staking? Like, where are we getting the Ethereum from? Is it just from the miners being created and the staking pool of TitanX? Or can you just, kind of give me more insights into that?
Yeah, so the actual ratio of TitanX to ETH is going to be free floating. It's not controlled by anything. The TitanX side of things, that's going to be supplied by miners. So when you mine HLX, 28% of that mining cost goes directly to the reward pool. And that's the same percentage that TitanX uses. So you can expect with the same amount of usage, you should expect the same amount of rewards at TitanX as you would on their platform. And the ETH comes from the treasury and our investment pool, which aims to diversify our assets under management to kind of stabilize the system. So the ETH is going to be coming in from primarily at first our V1 treasury, which is max staking from TitanX and locking that up and earning rewards from there. So initially the ETH's coming from that treasury. But then as time goes on, our investment pools will fill up with ETH as well, and we will create additional treasuries, and those treasuries will drip ETH into the reward pool as well. So there's three sources of income for the reward pool: TitanX from mining, and then ETH from the treasury and the investment pool. And the ETH side of those things will be, that won't be dependent on mining at all. That'll be perpetual rewards. The TitanX is always staked and never sold. And then as far as the ETH and the investment pool, same thing. The principal balance will always grow, and we're just sending the yield from those treasuries to the reward pools. So all of our treasuries will always be growing. And as far as the investment pool goes, all of those strategies will be designed by the community and voted on by our DAO. So anybody that's mining and staking on our platform or holding liquid HLX will be able to participate in how that's done.
Perfect. I wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Those were great questions.
Dr. P, I think you also posed a question to Mike Dean in the chat about this robot. What is it called?
Yeah, robot. DragonX NFT.
Dragon NFT. What's that about?
Yeah, so I was looking at one of the YouTube videos, and somebody mentioned that there is a NFT called Robot DragonX. I'm not correctly pronouncing it, but it's under Polygon, and
yes,
So I'm just trying to understand exactly if any of you guys heard of it, or if it's a scam, or what it is. Okay. I'm just trying to understand from a community standpoint, if you guys heard of that.
Heard of it, yes. And I've heard about the so-called wormhole that's been created into leading into Polygon. You're correct. But beyond that, I know nothing more about it. And of course, it isn't on TitanX shop yet. So I will say, short of any further information, as I will simply treat extreme caution. It isn't, in my view, yet a TitanX project until we get further information on it. So that is as far as I will go.
Yeah.
Got it. Understood. Yeah. I just wanted to bring it up, make sure sure that there's a lot of schemes going around.
Correct.
And bringing it up gives more insight to the TitanX community. So I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So I could say something regarding that is as well is like the only thing is like I just saw it on like some Twitter on my feed, let's say, right? I mean nothing more. They did DM me, but I just got back to them yesterday, and I still didn't have time to look at it yet. But yeah, so far I have no information regarding that. So that's that for now.
Great. Yes. So I think we've had an extended session today for good reasons. This is, of course, Chinese New Year. It's also the Super Bowl in the US. And of course, we have Helios launching this week. So I think the extended session is justified. I have to say a big thank you for everyone who's made the time out to join here and participate. So a big thank you to everyone. Sort of in closing, I would want us to share sort of closing remarks here. And I think I'll start with Helios. So Duke, can you go first, and then James and Mike, and then we can close out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just I would say an overview of Helios. Really, what sets us apart is our diversified portfolio and having multiple treasuries that will perpetually feed ETH into the ecosystem that will help TitanX and Helios all in the same process. We are launching on Valentine's Day, February 14th at 1400 UTC. Please come join our Twitter and our Telegram if you've got any additional questions. And yeah, I'll see you guys on day one. Thank you for having me, Plan A. And as always, Mike Dean, thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you for all that you've done and that you're doing for the ecosystem. I think that's a sentiment you've heard repeated, but it is meant. So thank you. James, over to you.
Yeah, appreciate it. So I was just looking at the time. This is a 3-hour call. So Plan A and Mike Dean, you are marathoners. You know, you're sprinters and you're in a marathon. So it's incredible what you do. Also, the rest of the community, we have many people on who are really interested, want to learn how things are happening, to interact with these protocols, which are sophisticated, right? So complicated is the market is an interesting force. So Baby DragonX, I'll just say, please come to our Telegram, stop by, ask your questions, play the reputation game. There's going to be other games too coming. And learn about the power of Baby DragonX, learn about the lore, learn about the background, and the benefits that we are trying to build for the community through our 14-day launch. So thanks again, everyone.
All right, Plan A. I don't know if are you still there?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, fantastic.
Mike. Yeah, thanks.
All right, probably I'll just go then next, and then you can close it off, Plan A. So
yes, of course.
One thing I'd like to mention to all the people who are listening through YouTube, yeah, sorry for all the technical issues. The audio is not great. Yeah, but this is unfortunately Twitter Spaces. Yeah, there's nothing I can do on my end regarding audio. It is just that bad, unfortunate. But yeah, I think if you join it on Twitter, probably the sound is a bit better. But this is the best we could do now on the audio side of things. So that's one. And then the second thing I would like to mention is obviously TitanXUp.com. Both of the projects, Baby DragonX or Helios, you can find all their links on TitanXUp.com. Just look at the project links. Helios is currently at number 4, and it's launching in 2 days and 18 hours. You have a countdown there as well on TitanXUp.com, so you can have a look at that. And, yeah, and all the links there as well. The Telegram, Twitter, and also the website. And also, Baby DragonX is currently sitting at just number 17, and you can. There's links to the white paper and all the links to the projects itself, projects links as well. So that's what I would like to mention. Thank you very much for joining us here today, and shout out to the guys on YouTube as well. I can see some of you guys familiar faces. Let's put it that way. So shout out to you guys, and see you next time. And I think this week sometime I'm gonna have an interview with one of the projects. So looking forward to that, and see you then next time.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for that. I think I just need to say to everyone, there are opportunities that exist within the TitanX ecosystem that really that we should take a look at, and of course participate after we've taken a look and made up our minds. Again, nothing here should be taken as advice. We've got to do our own research. That's without faith. And that is it. Really, we have a lot of opportunities within this ecosystem. Whether it be staking, mining, definitely. I mean, Helios is one that I'm looking at very closely. You do have other projects, of course, launching. TitanX Market is launching this week as well, and we've heard from DragonX. It encapsulated NFTs is an interesting concept. So there is a lot to play for within this system. Let's continue to do our work and continue to build and understand what's being built. I think the horizon is really looking. The horizon ahead is really looking good. I need to give a shout out to Weapon who did. It was a poker game yesterday. Community or that involved the TitanX community, and I think any way that we can positively contribute to building the TitanX community is definitely something we should all do. And I'm sure that we would all be happier for it in time. So a strong community is what we are about. A strong community with substance, and we can see it from what we built. Really, we honestly, I'm not saying this because I'm part of the community, but I really haven't seen anything like this in the entire crypto space. There's been really nothing like this, and we are still in our infancy. I think we should bear in mind that we are really in our infancy, which was over 4 months old, and this is what has been accomplished. So I think we should look forward with anticipation and of course with our eyes open. And I think we all would be. We should be really happy at the end of this. I mean, we should be happy once it all comes together. So thanks again, everyone, and yes, the session is closed for today. And see you all next week. Thank you.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much for listening in. I'm gonna end the stream right now. So see you guys next time. And if you anything, visit titanxhub.com, and you're gonna find all the links there to all the different projects. Helos is coming up 2 days now, 17 hours. KingX is coming up as well in 3 days, and then there's Beer Protocol in 16 days. And tomorrow also, it seems like the NFT hybrid NFT from DragonX is coming up as well. So there's definitely a lot of things happening, and we shall find out how all these things happen. Anyway, great that you joined. See you next time. Have a great Sunday. Bye bye. Hey, Plan A, how's it going? 1 second, 1 second. Let me see if I can join this. Yeah, I can hear you. How's it going? Hello. Fantastic. So the going is okay. Fantastic, man. Yeah, it was a long one, yeah, but I think. Oh, hold on a second. I need to. Oh my god, I need to stop the